a woman plays multiple roles in her life, changing and shifting between being a family nurturer to being a working mother today. She is the breadwinner too. In the earlier times, this dual role was not an expectation. So, as a result of which, she needs to create a balance between her work life and home. The balance leads to a lot of strain and stress. Continuing to shift between being a mother and a person with a role at work involves a lot of emotional upheaval, a lot of upsurge of positive and negative emotions. Therefore, it is essential that care be taken related to her thoughts, feelings, which we term as mental health.
By starting with acknowledgement that there is a difference in the way men are treated and women are treated, even if they are not contributing to that, to acknowledge that something like that happens.
Starts very small from home, right? And so being supportive of your spouse or your partner, right? You're not the one who's going to dictate what she can do or cannot do, whether she's going to work or not work, or what she's going to wear or whom she's going to meet. I think it's something just as basic as that. Helping out your mothers, at home, being supportive or standing up for your daughters and sisters. I think it just starts from there.
The one way that men could be involved is to be more aware of their own mental health, right? So it is something that we see in society, that men have to be strong. They can't cry, they can't share emotions. And while that is changing, and you can see that there is a change in that, I think women can take care of their mental health. Men don't need to help you with that, but the help or the strength of a man would come from themselves going in for help and looking after their own mental health as well.
Balance was indeed a very challenging one. I owe my mother-in-law and my husband all the credit for this. Being a working mother is a very tough job. To prioritize each is important, yet sometimes equal contribution to each cannot happen.
In my personal experience, yes, when I became the mother for the first time, I did take a sabbatical of 3.5 years because it was very difficult for me to balance both work and job. The kind of support that one requires after becoming a mother, it's very important. And if you do not have that kind of support, especially mentally and emotionally, then it becomes very, very difficult for you to do your career again. And again in 2019, when again I had my second baby, again I have taken a sabbatical of almost 20 months, and then I got back. So at every step, I have really sacrificed my career.
I'm a single mom to 2 teenage boys. So it was really, really difficult for me to find any sort of balance. Work-life balance was very difficult to find. Integrating work and life together was very difficult. I had to actually, and that's a choice I made, to sacrifice my work when it came to being with my children. So I have not really been able to find any sort of balance, but I know that there's one thing, that I always work with people who are very, very supportive. I always spoke to people, especially people who are heading the organization, when there was trouble, when I was not able to balance the two, and that really helped me a lot.
There are many times that I had my career and my profession had to take a back seat. There were times that I had to leave my child at home, with his grandparents for, 6 to 8 hours, and that was very daunting for me initially. So at both these points, there were these challenges, and again, the expectation to perform both these roles really well. The moment I understood, that I have these resources available, because I was from a joint family, I realized that, I have these resources available, and as long as I'm not exploiting them, I took help from these resources. I took support from them, and I did get support from them. So instead of just beating myself for it, what I did was actively approach them, seek support, and also assertively say what I wanted to do.
I've definitely drawn inspiration from a lot of women in my own sphere of life. There haven't been specific individuals that I have looked up to for everything, right? You can't expecting that there is this one woman who can do everything is an ideology that is in itself very flawed. If we even try to be those role models, we are expecting too much from ourselves, and that is very unrealistic. I have looked up to multiple women for multiple things that they have been doing. Something as simple as, oh, this person is really good at doing this, right? So going and doing this, and this happens when you are right out of college and you're doing courses and you're doing workshops and you're doing events, and you realize, oh, this woman is being really amazing in her field and technically. And then when you start getting to know these women who have also inspired you, you get to know that the struggles that they have faced in those things, you get to know that the challenges they have overcome in their own way.
Well, yes, I have drawn a lot of inspiration from other women, and I would like to start from my own house. I have got a lot of inspiration from my mother. All her life she has worked. She's been an entrepreneur, and now she's an author, and she's also been a fashion designer, and in every field she has acclaimed the heights, and she has reached, and she has been recognized. Then I would say I have got inspired a lot by my grandmother, my maternal grandmother, my Nani, because even at this age, the way she carries herself, the way she looks after her family, and along with that, the way the knowledge that she has about everything, whether you talk about technology, whether you talk about fashion, whether you talk about cooking or anything, she has kept herself very, very updated. And of course, in my in-laws' house, I really look up to my Dadi Saas. That is my husband's Dadi, okay? Because she is also one woman from that era who has stood by times, and there's so much to learn from her.
So there is one lady that has inspired me a lot. That's Sudha Murthy. I really look up to her. I feel like she's a really good example of showing that the stereotype of looking a certain way, or talking a certain way, and being leaders, right, doesn't go hand in hand. But I think she's really broken that stereotype, and her simplicity and the powerful words that she uses.
There are a lot of women which I have drawn inspiration from. First is my mentor, Anuri Sethi, because I'm working with her since a decade now, and she has really, I've seen her grow, and I have seen her seen her grow in Trijog. She's she started working from her place, and then we set up a Trijog and then Podar. So the amount of work she does, it inspires me because at her age, it's really impossible to juggle between so many things. And she's absolutely managing with a smile on her face.
So I think professionally, at Trijog, I'd say Anureet ma'am is somebody that I look up to, right? I've seen her, I've been with her for 10 years now, and I've seen her working professionally, also seen her in her personal life. I think I've learned a lot from her, imbibed a lot of the way she balances, and also the fact that she's extremely humble in her approach to other younger colleagues of hers, and I think that's a very important role.
It's considered that women do not know. I think I would like to challenge that don't assume that women don't know something, right? Give it to them, and then you'll see that they can do it. So that's something I would challenge, that don't assume, and give them the equal opportunity that they deserve.
A home that has 2 daughters is going to be so sad for the parents, because they don't have any sons, and once the daughter gets married and goes away, there's no one there. And I think that's something that I personally want to change, because it's not the truth. And since I recently got married, I know for a fact that I'm just as capable of looking after my family after I've been married as I was before.
I'd like to challenge the bias which I feel the women in themselves have. Women do not support other women. So it's very important that women should support other women, whether it's in your own house, whether you're working somewhere, or whether someone is working for you. It is very, very important that at every level that women should support women.
Bias related to women is that the need to be good homemakers or good home managers, even when they are working outside. I wish to challenge this bias, as I feel even men can be great home managers and therefore should contribute to the responsibility in home care as much as the woman does, whether or not a woman is a professional, working or not working.
Message would be your awesome selves. You're very worthy and you're very deserving and you have a lot of value. By being who you are, you have a lot of value to the world. So just be your awesome selves.
Do not allow anything or anyone to stop you from achieving what you really can just because you're a woman.
I think one message that I would really like to give is that just be assertive about your needs and wants, and don't shy away from saying what you want. If you know you can do it, you deserve it, just go out there and you'll realize that you're capable of so much more.
Love in big bold letters, right? Love yourself. I don't think we can get enough of it, and I don't think that we get enough of it, and I don't think we give it to ourselves at all.
To all women is that we don't need to fit the role of being a superwoman, wanting to please others, living for others. One can just be a woman who can first always focus on her needs, self-care, self-love, before she extends herself to the others. This certainly doesn't mean that she is selfish and uncaring. As a professional, as a psychologist, I always propagate to all my clients, to my colleagues, to whoever associates with me, that only when we take care of ourselves and lead normal lives can we give a lovely normal life to others.